We are from Syndicate Group 3. There is Mbak Endang, Mas Ivan, Pak Ming Zhang, and then Mas Hammam, and me, myself, Sidik Permana, as well as Mas Tri Setia Wibowo. Today, we will present about the scenario planning based on PT Chandra Asri Petrochemical TBK. In terms of a company profile of PT CAP or Chandra Asri Petrochemical TBK, this is the result of merger on January 1st, 2011 between PT Tripolita Indonesia TBK, or we call TPI, and PT Chandra Asri or CA. So it's located in Cilegon, Banten province. So providing companion access to their key customers. CAP or Chandra Asri Petrochemical as upstream and downstream business, as well as the intermediate stream business. We can see the CAP produced in the monomer and polymer product from naphtha as a raw material, as well as in downstream industry as a raw material for plastic-based material. So we can see here from upstream, intermediate, and downstream business. We see here in the downstream in the customer side from the blown film, as well as injection up to the copolymer, random and also impact polymer. The company business operation try to integrate all the operation from the crude oil production as well as the refinery, which is will have some products including diesel, kerosene, gasoline, naphtha, as well as the LPG and condensate. This business profile, we try to use the other side from the oil utilization, such as naphtha, LPG, and condensate, to be used in naphtha cracker for plant, and it will produce some products can be accessed in the upstream petrochemical, as well as in the midterm petrochemical before we hand on into the downstream side. So it's a lot of products such as ethylene and propylene, gas, and so on. So we can make it in this product to utilize the naphtha. And also we can see some of the facility will produce a lot of product that can be delivered to the customers. From the company point of view, we are facing also in the future human problem that we should incorporate with this humanity problem. Such as in terms of this humanity top 10 problem for the next 50 years, stated by Professor Richard Smeller in 2003. He was in Nobel laureate in chemistry, that we are now facing at least top 10 problem, from the energy, water, food, up to the population. So this tiny Earth from 2003 is 6.3 billion population living in this tiny Earth, and it will be increasing significantly in 2050 with 10 billion people. So as well as we can see here by this effect of the living people in this Earth, we need some energy as the energy demand, as well as the water, food, and also environment up to the population. So we are facing this those of the problem. And in terms of ecological problem, there are also some top 10 problems that we are facing now and gradually increasing, such as air pollution, and then the water also, and poaching, and the animal, and then the global warming based on the greenhouse emission. And then we are facing also the waste. Yeah. So we need to manage this waste, and also to try to reduce the frustration. I think it's nowadays in some area in Indonesia also there are some frustration problem, and also the GMO, as well as the utilization of land resource become decreasing. And now we are facing the pandemic, COVID-19 as a virus problem. Hopefully in soon in coming month or coming years, it become in a normal condition, go away from this pandemic condition. And the last is human population, as I think similar to the top 10 problem in the, stated by Richard Smelly. So based on this future humanity, we are also facing the other challenges, yeah, including the technology, humanity, and also the economy. As well as in this video, we can see here the adaptation of human also by this technology, IoT, and so on.
Over time, the pace of change has gone from being linear to being exponential, and that makes thinking about the future so much more challenging. So if you think about just how much has changed in the last 10 years, you know, we didn't know what a selfie was. Cloud computing was just a weird word. What we did with phones was completely different. Think about what satellites now do compared to what they could do before. Drones, barely at commercial stage, now changing the way we look at our land. Imagine what it means for a producer to have access to a phone that can connect to all levels of data from the sky to the sensors on the ground. Most of us would not have imagined what it feels like today to have so much information in the cloud, so many transformative technologies accessible at the hand of billions of people around the planet. Imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years. By 2030, another billion people will be on the planet. Most of them will be in the middle class. Most of them will be in significant export markets for Australia. Urbanization will draw in more and more people towards cities. We're living longer, our healthcare outcomes are improving, social inclusion is improving. But there are challenges on the horizon, and they're becoming more clear. The world hopes to contain climate change, and our goal is to keep warming under 2 degrees, but we're tracking closer to 3, maybe even 4 degrees. Alongside that comes a big water scarcity challenge. The environment produces services that are mission critical for human development. Biodiversity is at risk like never before. Already, humans use more than 70% of the planet's landmass for our needs. As we continue to develop with billions joining us over coming decades, how will we meet those needs? When we think about global trade, on the one hand, it represents an enormous opportunity because we are a trading nation and we're equipped to compete. On the other hand, we begin to see a contest over rules. Will we have a rules-based trading system, or are we seeing protection creep back in? Those are the big challenges for the next 10 years. I could lay out two futures for you. In one, bad stuff happens. We fail to tackle climate change. We lose our ability to innovate because we cannot collaborate effectively. Global markets disappear because trading rules are just no longer effective. Our industry isn't able to realize its potential, and the world suffers. In an optimistic scenario, we build climate resilience. We crack the collaboration model and become competitive because of new agile ways of collaborating between research and industry. And we fight for those trading rules that will allow our industry to reach those middle-class markets at our doorstep. I know which future I want. The question is, how do we make it happen?
Technology development is accelerating, unlocking the final frontiers of this planet. Business models are being disrupted, and industry boundaries are becoming blurred. IoT and advanced analytics will deliver a new generation of precision solutions. And plummeting costs are opening up new markets. DNVGL has identified the 10 technology trends that are going to define key industries in the coming decade. 3 trends are classified as enabling technologies, which lay the foundation of profound technological change and drive other technologies. Engineering ecosystems and utilizing ocean space will help sustain our biosphere. And 5 trends have been identified as transformative in key industries. No sector is immune from disruption. The IMO's 2050 greenhouse gas target will encourage a new wave of innovation in the maritime industry. Established supply chains will be challenged by political, climate and technology shifts, including the application of additive manufacturing. Expect 3D printing centers to pop up in major ports. In the oil and gas industry, the integration of physical and digital assets will deepen. Full digital twins will emerge that combine data analytics with real-time data to predict risk levels. Machines will no longer support human decision-making. Rather, operations run by algorithms will become the norm, where humans augment decisions made by intelligent machines. The transformation of the power market will continue. To meet the challenge of variable energy generation by renewables, the growing electric car fleet could act as a decentralized battery. With the right policy enabled by digitalization, vehicle owners could make their spare battery capacity available for the grid. The proliferation of sensors will lead to a new era of precision in food. Robots and automated systems will use artificial intelligence to carry out tasks previously the domain of humans. The food industry will adopt traceability technologies at scale to address food safety concerns and satisfy consumer demand for detailed information about individual products. Blockchain will enable a transparent means to convey product information and authenticity. No industry has been as receptive to big data as healthcare. Individuals will be increasingly empowered with precise data about their health, making well-being decisions accordingly. The impact of technology is conditional upon the choices we make. We are not on track to an ideal 2030. We face a climate crisis, increased inequalities, and the persistent dominance of unsustainable models of production and consumption. Human-centric technology can overcome these systemic challenges, harnessing organizational, institutional, regulatory, and value change to serve people, planet, and the economy. To discover how technology will transform society and industry in the next decade, visit dnvgl.com/TO2030.
At the exploration stage, we try to identify driving forces and critical uncertainties surrounding CAP with the helicopter point of view. Looking at the diagram, here we try to recognizing business environment of CAP from contextual environment to the transactional environment. Contextual environment consists of things that we cannot control, things that are still uncertain, things that have been ignored, things that will happen in the future, things that will greatly affect CAP transactional world, and things that drive tremendously CAP's business. Based on group discussion, we agreed to use pastel and VUCA analysis for contextual environment. After extracting certain factors, we then make a list of top 5 critical factors and critical uncertainty for CAP to be analyzed deeper in the transactional environment. We also use SWOT and Porter 5 forces analysis to help with our works on transactional environment. So, here are the pastel analysis. In 2027, CAP will face some political issues such as plastic regulation with the tax and banning in some areas. Another thing is regarding the potential massive competitor due to declining oil prices, as well as geopolitical issues regarding the anti-dumping China's product. Another thing is carbon credit politics and UU Cipta Kerja effective date. Several business strategy consultants already predict that the economic growth will boost after pandemic as a natural way of turn back after long recession. Also, at some variant of petrochemical product, our country still rely on import, make it another factor. And then, there is a circular economy that very affected plastic industry in terms of waste, disposal, and recycling. Social, nowadays, people tend to care much about environment and climate change. Hence, there is a huge movement of eco-friendly lifestyle and zero waste which minimize plastic use. Also, we've seen so many technology advances and innovation in terms of eco-friendly material and production process technology in plastic. From legal aspect, we've seen the UU Cipta Kerja and food and safety regulation that will influence CAP the most. And also there is P3DN program that give positive sentiment to CAP. Environment factor will give the biggest factor for CAP like high abundance of plastic waste and carbon restriction of industrial and business. With VUCA analysis, 2027 will be so volatile for CAP as the oil prices decline trend with naphtha, oil derivative, as main material of petrochemical, and there is competition especially for imported product of petrochemical, technological process in petrochemical, and stock prices of TPIA. 2027 also an uncertainty for CAP to continuing supply raw material for face mask, face shield, and swab tubes stick as it estimated COVID-19 protocol doesn't necessarily again. High abundance of plastic waste, carbon restriction, and eco-friendly plastic material also added up CAP uncertainty. What makes it so complex is the work on all plastic regulation with the taxes as well as the circular economy process. There is an ambiguity for 2027 as we are questioning if the COVID-19 will completely end, and also there is some other thing quite unrelevant with CAP such as fintech Bitcoin, nanotechnology, and the Internet of Things trend. Above all our long work process, here we list the top 5 factors and also other factors as our exploration stage result to develop scenario planning for CAP. First is the plastic use regulation, where is various acts from the restriction of use, banning, increased tax of plastic use, and so on. Second is carbon restriction for industry and business with the main goal of net zero emission 2050. Some of the strategic actions such as carbon credit tax, carbon trading, low carbon product standard, and any other act. Third is high abundance of plastic waste in any form and anywhere, from ocean plastic, microplastic, garbage dump overcapacity, and so on and so on. Fourth is economic growth rate that closely related to GDP growth rate, low unemployment rate, high interest rate, surplus trade balance, and any other things. Last is the geopolitical issue. As a consequence of continuous declining in oil prices, it will be estimated that petrochemical industry player increase, especially the oil and gas player needs to compensate its loss. Other issues such as more cheap import product and anti-dumping China's product. Some other factors added up. The main factors are eco-friendly lifestyle, plastic-free NGO, UU Cipta Kerja, technology and innovation, food safety regulation, biodiversity, IoT, COVID-19, and last, the fintech.
So, after we analyze the business condition, VUCA, and critical factor, we also analyze the internal and external factor to determine the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat within the company. Highlighting the strength, Chandra Asri has a strong integrated business operation since it has business line from midstream petrochemical until the downstream petrochemical that also give benefit of ability to produce a specific product. It also located in a very strategic location near their customer. And as the largest petrochemical company in Indonesia, Chandra Asri has a very strong position in the domestic market. As for the weakness, as Chandra Asri used naphtha as raw material, it resulted in high production costs and high dependency on import raw material. The plant condition also quite aging since Chandra Asri operated since 1992. And talking about petrochemical industry, there will be a weakness coming from a high potential hazard environment. Coming to the opportunity, growing demand and new technology will be the highlighted opportunity in this era. And as the government has a campaign supporting local product, it will also give better opportunity for Chandra Asri. Growing demand not only became opportunity, it will also become the biggest threat for Chandra Asri, as competition will be growing locally and globally following the growth of population. And as Chandra Asri produce raw material for plastic-based industry, green regulation and plastic banning will be the highlighted threat. Competition will become the biggest threat. We analyze the business competitive environment using Porter 5 force. From the threat of new entrants, although Chandra Asri is a big player that occupied most of market in Indonesia, and petrochemical company is a high capital industry, but with the growing demand and prediction of stable oil price as raw material, the new entrant threat will still be high. Other highlighted threat is the threat of substitution, since environmental concern awareness is rising within the society. The alternative of plastic-based material is widely available, such as a reusable bag or organic-based plastic material. As of the bargaining power of supplier, the threat will be low since the naphtha price is projected to be stable. However, Chandra Asri has big threat from bargaining power of buyer, since consumer can put pressure on business to get them to provide higher quality product, better customer service, and lower price. And the conclusion, the competition is quite tight, but Chandra Asri is still the biggest and various petrochemical producer in Indonesia. Several improvements such as price-cutting strategy, product innovation, and customer service need to be done in order to strengthen Chandra Asri's position in the petrochemical industry recovery. From all of the analysis explained, we divine the uncertainties that lying ahead for Chandra Asri, such as the influence of oil price as raw material, the economic growth that will be affected the competitiveness of the industry, influence of environmental policy from the government, competitiveness local and global following the growing demand, diversity of product and the product substitution, plastic banning as the environmental concern awareness is rising, technological advance and also the industrial revolution 4.0 or digital information era. And also there will be the uncertainty coming from the importance of preparing the next generation of leader and also the geopolitics of climate change. From all of the uncertainties, we connected each factor using the causal loop diagram to see how each factor influences another. With the goal to optimize production and revenue without sacrificing the environment, we found that the green technology or sustainability and competition will become the dominant driver or intervention within the system, and later will be two factors that we are using to creating the scenario.
For the scenario, we took two critical uncertainties as a driving force. In this case, first we took government regulation. Since government is more concerned about environment, we are afraid in the future it could affect the sustainability of the company. And second is competitiveness. Chandra Asri still becoming single player who produce raw material of plastic. What are the scenario? First, single producer and 3P factors is emphasized on profit for the company. The main strategy is increasing product quantity to expand market or building a new plant. Second, single producer and circular and sustainable factors is emphasized on environmental issue. The main strategy is to make companies sustain through clean production and zero waste program, increasing value of waste like recycled plastic into asphalt. Third, multi-producer and 3P factors is emphasized on market competition. The main strategy is to dominate company market, local and global, through integrating plant with superior human resource. And the last, multi-producer and circular and sustainable factors is emphasized on sustainability of the company. The main strategy is to survive and sustain through improvement environmental technology and integrating with renewable energy in order to supply energy in business process itself. So from that, we came up with 4 scenarios. There's money monster strategy, world of sustainability secret, power project, and path outside the wire.
Therefore, we have already recognized the 4 business scenarios. First, what we named as the monster strategy scenario. In this scenario, domestic competition is still low since CAP is still the sole producer in Indonesia. Government and the society will still not concern about environment issue. A lot of industries try to increase their productivity because of high demand of plastic and economic just recovered from COVID-19 pandemic. Government and society want to rebuild economy and seize the opportunity. That would be the key driving factor in this scenario. Companies stakeholder and the shareholder will make a decision to build new plants, increasing productivity and explore market share, which will be the dominant operation model, which will result in the consequences that negative comments from society and unsustained working environment will come out. Therefore, company must strengthen CSR to get trust from customer and society with new technology applied for product innovation in order to increase product. Second, what we named as project power scenario. In this scenario, the world is from COVID-19 pandemic. Many investors seek the opportunity from stable oil price by building new petrochemical company in Indonesia. And as environmental awareness is growing better and better, a lot of social pressure come from society. Government will take action to make new regulation to focus on circular, economical, and sustainability. In this period, environmental protection, market opportunity, and raw material price will take effect as key driving factor. Policymakers, environmental leaders, investors, and government will take seriously consideration in this situation. Company will increase the productivity with application of eco-friendly technology and divert product portion into multiple used plastic, which will make the product to be diversity. And the renewable energy could be integrated into business process, which will result in the consequences that high level competition and high production cost. Therefore, broaden business line targeting new market and inventing low cost manufacturing process will be taken into account as opportunity left. Third, what we named as the word of sustainability secret. In this scenario, CAP is still the sole producer in Indonesia with less local competitors. Plastic waste become major problem in Indonesia as its usage increasing day by day. Government will take by creating regulation on circular economy and sustainability to reduce plastic waste. Meanwhile, environmental protection and plastic waste will be paid attention by companies, stakeholder, shareholders, shareholders, and policy makers, environmentalists, and the government. I think CAP should take actions on environmental campaign and doing business in a proper way as requested by the Zero Waste Program, clean production, and the industry digitalization, which will result in high production cost and lower revenue, inviting lower cost manufacturing process and technology application for product. Fourth, what we named as outside the wear path scenario. In this scenario, the world is still recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. Many investors seek the opportunity from stable oil price by building new petrochemical company in Indonesia. While Indonesia is recovering its economic, government encourages industries to maximize its production. Government and social concern about the environmental issue is not too much. A lot of industries just recover from COVID pandemic and try to boost their productivity because of high demand of plastic. In this period, market opportunity and raw material price will be act as the key driving factor, which will be considered by the investor. CAP will take actions such as integrating petrochemical plants, dominate the local market, explore global market to export, decrease operational cost, and find out superior human resources. Then this will take the consequences that high-level competition again in this situation. So CAP must take opportunity to strengthen brand image, build a partner.
Finally, we arrive in the integration part, which is foreseen the future and scenario implication. We had 4 scenarios. For the first one, money monster strategy scenario, we need to divide the opportunities, allies, threats, and competitors. For the first opportunities is strengthening CSR to get trust from customer and surrounding society. The allies are company stakeholders and shareholders. The threats are local society and environmentalists. And the competitors are local companies. Second opportunities is technology application for product innovation. The allies are technology companies. The threats are human resources capability, and the competitors are a global competitor. And the third opportunity is increasing production capacity to get bigger market and profit. The allies are customers and company shareholders. The threats are substitution products, and the competitors are producer of non-plastic based material. Next scenario is project power scenario. The first opportunities is to broaden business line. The allies is investor, the threat is compatibility of new business line, and the competitor is the existing companies in the business line. Because we want to broaden our business line, and there's already existing companies in the business line, and we don't know the compatibility of new business line. But the investor surely want to help us to broaden business line, because we are a big company, and we can give back the investor with some promising return. And the next opportunity is targeting new market. The ally is company stakeholder, and the threat is regulatory consideration and barrier. And the competitor is other petrochemical companies. When we want to targeting new market, of course there is regulatory consideration and barrier as a threat. And of course other petrochemical company is our competitor, because we are in this same business line, and we want to target new market. And then the next opportunity is to invent lower cost manufacturing process. The ally is technology companies, the threat is human resources capability, and the competitor is other petrochemical companies. Because we want to have invent lower cost manufacturing process, we need to ally with the technology company to make it happen. And our human resources capability is the threat. We can invent that lower cost manufacturing process or not. And of course the competitor is other petrochemical company that already have lower cost manufacturing process, and they also lowering their product price. And then the last one is strengthening CSR and increase green or environmentally friendly product. The allies here are environmentalists, consumer, and policymaker. The threats are local society, and the competitor are the petrochemical companies. Because the demand of the green or environmental friendly product is very high. So local society threat, it's a threat, because the demand of the environmental friendly product and our processes is very high. So we need to keep up to the society demand of the green product, environmental friendly product, and also the processes. We can join forces with the environmentalists and of course the policymaker, because they have the authority to give the policy. So we can have join ally with them. And of course the competitors is other petrochemical companies, if they are more advanced in the CSR and also in the environmental friendly products. So we need to compete with other petrochemical companies to bring the best of Next scenario is the world of sustainability secret. We have three opportunities. First one is invest lower cost manufacturing process. The ally is technology companies. The threat is human resources capability, and the competitor is other petrochemical companies. Next one is technology application for product innovation and digitalization. The ally is technology company, and the threat is human resources capability, and the competitor is other company that also they increase the technology application for digitalization and the product innovation. So we need to compete with other company, not just petrochemical company, because every kind of company also increasing the innovation and digitalization in this era. And then next is strengthening CSR and increase green and environmentally friendly product. The allies are environmentalist, consumer, and policymaker. Threats is local society, competitors is other petrochemical company. The last scenario is outside the wire path scenario. We have 5 opportunities. First, to enhance company or brand image. The lie is company stakeholder. The threat is our competitor, and the competitor is other petrochemical company. Also, in the second opportunity, build partnership. The lie is our investor. The threat our competitors, and also our competitor are other petrochemical companies. Next opportunity is to diversify product. The allies are customers and shareholders. The threat is compatibility of new product in market. The competitor is existing companies in the business line. Next opportunity to strengthening human capital. The allies company stakeholders. The threats is the loss of highly rated and top quality human capital to competitors, and competitors other companies. Because when we want to strengthening human capital, also other company want to hijack our highly rated and top quality human capital. So it's the threat for us, and because we already have a good and strength human capital, so other company can just hijack the top quality, and of course they become our competitors. And last opportunity is to increase production capacity to get bigger market and profit. Our allies are customer and company shareholders. The threat is substitution products, and the competitor are producers of non-plastic based material. Because when we want to increase production capacity to get bigger market and profit, there is also threat of the substitution product of plastic. So the product of our company can be substituted by other products, and of course the competitor is a producer of non-plastic based material. So even though we are the single producer, we can increase our production capacity to get bigger market and profit. But yeah, if there is a substitution product to our product, yeah, it's a threat, and of course the competitor is the producer of that substitution product of, or producer of non-plastic based material. Yeah, that's all from